This is your raw file. And this is your raw file on JPEG. But it's not as bad as it sounds, alright? You can always finesse your JPEGs. You know, stir them just right. Make them JPEGs feel good, alright? You can adjust your temperature to make sure that your color temperature is just right on it. You can add some flavor with, you know, a little bit of contrast and make sure that, you know, you got everything looking good the way it should be, okay? When you have your JPEGs, you can make sure the color saturation is right. You can make sure that the vibrance is looking good, you know? And when it's all said and done, you can make sure that you have yourself some very tasty JPEGs. Shoot. You could even warm up your Photoshop, get it all nice and perfect, and you know, wrap everything up in Photoshop, wrap up your production, you know, make sure it's just the way you like it before you take down your JPEGs. You know what I'm saying? So when it's all said and done, you can have some really tasty hot JPEGs. Those are delicious JPEGs. But what happens if you don't like your JPEGs? When you see them, you're like, you know what? I want to change them up. Well, with these JPEGs, you can only go so far. I can, let's say, make, you know, boiled JPEGs or an omelet. You know, I couldn't use these JPEGs in another bigger recipe, just as, you know, if I was going to make a wonderful cake, I can't throw these JPEGs in there. You know, but with your RAW files, you can always start from that beginning point. You can always start from that RAW file, that very first thing. And you can go from there and make whatever you want. Once it's set as a JPEG, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, if I don't like the flavor, I could take out the bell peppers and I can throw them away. You know, but there's still going to be that bell pepper flavor, you know? So, you know, with your JPEGs, you have your JPEGs, and RAWs all get turned into JPEGs at some point, or TIFFs, or however you want your ending file to be. But if you have a RAW file, you can always go back to it and start off again with the RAW file and create whatever you want from there. So it's a darn good idea to keep your RAW files. If you know that at some point you're going to go and you're going to change your recipe, you're going to change what you do, you know, keep your RAW files around because they'll help you in the long run, okay? But JPEGs are good. You know, if that's what you want to use, then go ahead. But if you plan on in the future doing other things, you know what I'm saying. So take care. I hope that helps you. You know, you might even learn to cook some JPEGs. Peace. You got yourself some pretty dang cheap teeth.